Here are 10 common English mistakes that many people make without realizing it, expanded and explained in greater detail to help you understand and avoid them. Check them out to see if you've been making any of these errors and learn how to correct them for clearer, more accurate communication. One of the most frequent mistakes in English is confusing your and your. The word your is a possessive pronoun, meaning it shows ownership or belonging. For example, in the sentence "your book is on the table," your indicates that the book belongs to the person being addressed. On the other hand, your is a contraction of the words you are. It is used to describe a state of being or an action. For example, "you're doing great" means you are doing great. A common mistake is writing "you're amazing" when it should be "you're amazing," because the sentence is describing someone's state of being, not showing possession. To avoid this error, always ask yourself if you mean you are. If so, use your. These three words, there, and there, sound identical but have completely different meanings and uses. There is an adverb that refers to a place or location, as in "the book is over there." It can also be used to introduce a sentence, such as "there is a problem here." There is a possessive pronoun, indicating that something belongs to a group of people, as in "their car is new." Finally, there is a contraction of they are, used to describe a group's state of being or action, as in "they're coming soon." A common mistake is writing "they're going to the park" when it should be "they're going to the park" because the sentence is describing an action, not showing possession. To avoid confusion, always double-check whether you're referring to a place, possession, or a contraction. The confusion between "it's" and "its" is another common error. "Its" is a possessive pronoun, used to show that something belongs to or is associated with a thing previously mentioned, as in "the cat licked its paws." On the other hand, "its" is a contraction of "it is," or "it has," used to describe a state of being or an action, as in "it's raining" or "it's been a long day." A frequent mistake is writing "the dog wagged its tail" when it should be "the dog wagged its tail" because the sentence is showing possession, not using a contraction. To avoid this error, try replacing "its" with "it is," or "it has," in your sentence. If it doesn't make sense, use "its." Apostrophes are used for two main purposes: to show possession, e.g., Sarah's book, and to form contractions, e.g., don't for, do not. However, many people mistakenly use apostrophes to form plurals, which is incorrect. For example, writing "I bought 3 apples" is wrong because the sentence is simply referring to multiple apples, not showing possession or forming a contraction. The correct version is "I bought 3 apples." Apostrophes should only be used for plurals in rare cases, such as when pluralizing single letters, e.g., mind your P's and Q's. To avoid this mistake, always ask yourself if you're showing possession or forming a contraction. If not, don't use an apostrophe. This mistake arises from the way "could've" sounds when spoken quickly. Could've is a contraction of could have, but many people misinterpret it as could've, which is grammatically incorrect. For example, writing "I could have gone" is wrong because "of" is a preposition and doesn't fit in this context. The correct phrase is "I could have gone" or "I could have gone." To avoid this error, always remember that could have is the correct form, and could have is never correct. If you're unsure, try expanding the contraction in your sentence to see if it makes sense. These two words, affect and effect, are often confused because they sound similar and are related in meaning. However, they serve different grammatical roles. Affect is usually a verb meaning to influence or produce a change in something, as in "the weather affects my mood." On the other hand, effect is usually a noun meaning the result or outcome of an action, as in "the effect of the storm was devastating." A common mistake is writing "the medicine had a positive effect" and it should be "the medicine had a positive effect" because the sentence is referring to a result, not an action. To avoid confusion, remember that affect is typically a verb, and effect is typically a noun. The words less and fewer are both used to indicate a smaller quantity, but they are used in different contexts. Less is used for uncountable nouns, which are things you can't count individually, such as water, sand, or happiness. For example, I need less sugar in my coffee. On the other hand, fewer is used for countable nouns, which are things you can count individually, such as apples, books, or people. For example, there are fewer people here today. A common mistake is writing there are less people here when it should be there are fewer people here because people can be counted. To avoid this error, ask yourself if the noun can be counted. If it can, use fewer. If not, use less. The confusion between I and me often occurs in compound subjects or objects. I is a subject pronoun, meaning it is used as the subject of a sentence, as in I went to the store. Me is an object pronoun, meaning it is used as the object of a verb or preposition, as in she gave the book to me. A common mistake is writing she gave the book to John and I when it should be she gave the book to John and me because me is the object of the preposition to. To avoid this error, try removing the other person from the sentence. For example, you wouldn't say she gave the book to I, so you shouldn't say she gave the book to John and I. These two words, then and then, are often mixed up because they sound similar, but they have very different meanings. Then is an adverb that refers to time, indicating when something happens or the order of events, as in we went to the park, and then we ate. It can also be used to mean, in that case, or, therefore, as in if you're tired, then go to bed. On the other hand, then is a conjunction used to make comparisons, as in she is taller than me. A common mistake is writing I'd rather go now than later when it should be I'd rather go now than later because the sentence is making a comparison, not referring to time. To avoid confusion, remember that then is about time, and then is about comparisons. The word literally is often misused for emphasis or exaggeration, but its actual meaning is, in a literal sense, or exactly as stated. For example, I literally ran 10 miles means you actually ran 10 miles, not figuratively or metaphorically. However, many people use literally to exaggerate, as in I was so hungry, I literally ate a horse, which is incorrect unless you actually ate a horse. This misuse can lead to confusion and undermine the clarity of your communication. To avoid this mistake, use literally only when you mean something happened exactly as stated. For emphasis, consider using words like really or absolutely instead. By paying attention to these common mistakes and practicing the correct usage, you can significantly improve your English writing and speaking skills. Let me know if you'd like further clarification or additional examples.